Good morning. It's March 13th, 2019. I'm Eric. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope you're all well. Feds to unseal Epstein documents revealing scope of billionaire's international sex trafficking or child sex trafficking ring. This is from Matt Argus. Now, recently, I believe it was the Patriots owner got busted for solicitation that this happened, I believe. It turns out that this whorehouse that he was going to, Trump was linked to the owner of that whorehouse. She was at one of his Super Bowl parties. So don't think for a minute Donald Trump's hands are clean of any of this shit, because they're not. He hangs out with people like Jeffrey Epstein. On Monday, a Manhattan appeals court gave billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's former alleged partner in crime, British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, until March 19th to establish good cause as to why documents detailing the scope and size of their international child sex trafficking operation should remain sealed. Failing to do so would mean these documents will be made public. Now, one thing I can say about Donald Trump's being elected is there has been a massive uptick in people being busted for this kind of shit. But these arrests seem to be getting more and more frequent and more attention. In quotes, though, we're grateful that the court ruled the summary judgment papers are open and they are moving to expedite having them unsealed, said Sanford Boer, the attorney representing the Miami Herald. This is very unusual for a court to do this. The Herald reports that the appeal is supported by 32 other media companies, including the New York Times and the Washington Post. According to the court, after the case was quietly settled in 2017, the victims all effectively silenced. More than 1,000 documents were sealed. Maxwell, who is the daughter of disgraced media mogul and former owner of the New York Daily News, is the sole party attempting to keep the documents sealed. It is a well-reported fact that Maxwell would meet the young girl who would soon become the first victim of the child sex trafficking ring at Trump's famous Mar-a-Lago resort. See, it's even going on in his resorts. But, you know, make America great again, right? Maxwell was sued after accusing this victim of being a liar, and she lost, as the Miami Herald reports. In the appeals court case in New York, the sealed documents stem from a 2017 civil case related to when Epstein associate Maxwell was sued for slander for calling Virginia Roberts, Gulfrey, one of Epstein's accusers, a liar. Gulfrey, then 16, said she was working at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort when she was approached by Maxwell about becoming a masseuse for the hedge fund manager. That soon evolved into a sexual pyramid scheme. Epstein paid local girls $200 to give him massages. He offered the same amount if they'd recruit other girls. The massages would turn into sex, of course. the feds were looking into allegations that girls were trafficked across state lines and even internationally when the investigation was closed. So there's no shortage of these politicians and billionaires being fucking pedophile scum. All of them. I would say that there's more pedophiles in politics, entertainment, and big business than anywhere else. Gershon would take me to dress up to surprise J.E. or Jeffrey Epstein, or Jeffrey would ask me to get dressed up. That would include wearing a tiny little skirt with nothing underneath, a white collared shirt that you would be wearing to school with a tie in it, tied up in a bow, my hair in pigtails, stockings up to my knees, and I would go in there and act like a kid, and we'd do role-playing, a transcript of victim Goffrey's testimony read. Even after the couple stopped dating, Maxwell was alleged to have continued her job in procuring underage girls for Epstein's sex trafficking ring. Although Maxwell denies these allegations, supporting evidence uncovered by years of independent investigation paint a deeply disturbing picture in which she was the madam and sex slave procurer for Epstein's disgusting elite club for pedophiles. This is the second major ruling in the Epstein case in only a few weeks. As the Free Thought Project reported, last month a federal judge made a bombshell ruling which stated that the prosecutors who worked under former Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, now Trump's labor secretary, broke the law when handling the case of billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. According to the ruling, the prosecutors acted illegally when they concealed a plea agreement for more than 30 underage victims who had been sexually abused by the New York hedge fund manager. In quotes, the government aligned themselves with Epstein, working against his victims for 11 years. Brad Edwards, who represents Courtney Wild, J-Dome number 1 in the case, said, yes, this is a huge victory, but to make his victims suffer for 11 years, this should not have happened. Instead of admitting what they did and doing the right thing, they spent 11 years fighting these girls. As the Free Thought Project has reported, Epstein is a convicted child molester and sexually abused no less than 40 underage girls. Despite this fact, Acosta protected him while serving as a U.S. attorney in Florida. And Acosta's one of Trump's boys, you know. When are you Trump followers going to acknowledge the fact that this motherfucker is very creepy? The way he talks about his daughter is very creepy. I know you've seen the interviews with him, and what's her name? Oh man, what is her name? It's right at the tip of my tongue. Well, anyway, you know her name, right? I know you've seen the interview where he said that the thing they have most in common is sex. How would you have sex in common with your child? If the unsealed documents reveal more unspeakable crimes against young girls, the Free Thought Project feels that Acosta should resign and immediately become the subject of a criminal investigation. A subsequent criminal investigation should then span out into every alleged suspect mentioned in these 1,000 documents. Look at that piece of shit. And there's more here at the Free Thought Project, by the way. A shocking video shows crazed cop punching and beating entirely unresponsive man. And, of course, they're going to get away with it, like they always do. And for all you people who think this is only a thing that happens to black people, well, here's a white guy here in this picture being attacked. This happened in Trenton, New Jersey. As the Free Thought Project has often asserted, being entirely innocent is no defense against the American police state. Now, a new video out of New Jersey shared with the Free Thought Project shows that being unconscious and unresponsive is also no defense against police brutality. In the video, taken by a woman who wishes to remain anonymous for obvious reasons, a New Jersey Transit police officer is seen savagely attacking a seemingly unconscious man. As the video shows, the officer is seen dragging the limp body of the man around. The man's inability to move or react to the officer seems to infuriate him even more, so the officer begins smashing him into the ground. As the officer attacks the unresponsive man, he yells, "Get up and get out now," repeatedly while using profanities. Around the 25-second mark in the video, the man is completely unresponsive as the officer makes a phone call. After he finished the call, the officer resumed yelling at the unconscious man. You know, but if you make a rap song about cops, you get charged with terrorism. Rapper charged with terrorism for sharing a song critical of police on Facebook and YouTube. This is your land of the free. And look, I'm not a big fan of rap music, but, you know, they do have the First Amendment right, just the same as I do. Washington, D.C. is where this happened. TRI weighing in on a First Amendment case that could have significant ramifications for online communications and controversial art forms. The Rutherford Institute has come to the defense of a rap artist who was charged with making terrorist threats after posting a rap song critical of police on Facebook and YouTube. The police had been actively monitoring rapper Jamel Knox, a.k.a. Mayhem Mall, social media presence when they discovered the song titled "Fuck the Police" and charged Knox and his rap partner with multiple counts of terroristic threats and witness intimidation. The Rutherford Institute's brief in Knox v. Pennsylvania, filed in conjunction with the Cato Institute, asked the U.S. Supreme Court to rule or review the case and reject an attempt by government officials to expand the definition of true threats, making controversial and unpopular political or artistic expression subject to prosecution and suppression by the government. But they will not hesitate in letting their fellow officers or state officials off. Cops hold man down as fellow cop smashes his face in with his boot. Notice that it's another white guy, by the way. This happened in Fresno, California. Police officers across America deal with horrific and often tragic cases on a daily basis. From coast to coast, they have to tell families and their children that their children had been run over, or their mother committed suicide, or their father has been killed in a car wreck. This job can be incredibly stressful and gut-wrenching, which would make one think that adding extra stress to the job would be a terrible idea. However, cops like the ones in the video below on a daily basis create more stress for themselves by turning people against them by committing despicable acts of necessary violence. A rather disturbing video was just released this week showing Richard Bernier being held down by officers as he gets a boot directly to his face. Bernier was not a threat, was not resisting, and was subdued when the unknown officer delivered the face-shattering blow. In quotes, it's very evident that at the point he was kicked in the head, he was no longer a threat to authorities. It looked like there were at least 2, maybe 3 officers attending to him on the ground, said Kevin Little, an attorney representing Bernier in an excessive force lawsuit. According to police, Bernier was suspected of DUI in November 2017 and ran from police on foot as they attempted to apprehend him. That's what they did to this dude. But, you know, police brutality, it's only a black problem, right? Cop caught throwing nails in family's driveway for filing a complaint against him. And that, hey man, if you get on the bad side of one of these cops, and this is what is the most horrible thing about giving any of these people authority over you, or thinking it's a good thing at all. If they feel vindictive, if they get angry because you file a complaint, or you beat one of their cases, or maybe they don't like something about you, they can take action against you, and there's not a motherfucking thing you're going to be able to do about it. This happened in St. Petersburg, Florida. A deputy with Pinellas County Sheriff's Office was allowed to quietly resign last month amid an investigation into his retaliatory actions against an innocent family. Deputy Lance Chambers was caught on video throwing nails into a family's driveway over a feud and a series of complaints they filed against him. Documents released from the sheriff's office last month showed that Chambers submitted his resignation notice to Sheriff Rob, Bob, on February 8th while the investigation was still underway. Resigning during an investigation is a common tactic among police officers attempting to escape accountability because it often works, as the following case illustrates. According to police, the deputy's neighbors, a family with small children, filed a series of complaints because the deputy verbally accosted the children. And lastly, who's undercover now? Cop snaps, attacks handcuffed man, and gloats about it. Look at that. Another white guy. Another one. This happened in Denver, Colorado. A bar fight at a local Denver establishment took a turn for the worse after it ended and one of the fighters was in handcuffs. After the fight was over and the suspect subdued, graphic video captured the moment a Denver cop lost his temper and proceeded to attack a handcuffed man, knocking him unconscious and then gloating about it. According to police, the incident happened last year, but the video was only just released. Police say that a bar fight broke out at a sports bar in downtown Denver, and after it was over, Corporal Michael Ostman had Kevin Watson handcuffed in the basement. The video shows that Watson is verbally berating the officer before he spat at the direction of his head. Spitting on a cop is considered assault on a police officer, which is a chargeable offense. So Watson shouldn't have been arrested and brought to jail for it right then. Instead, however, Alston snapped and delivered a knee strike to his face, which knocked the drunk man unconscious. Then, instead of stopping there, Alston punched the unconscious man in the face, knocking his head into the locker behind him. As Watson's unresponsive body wobbles in the chair, Alston grabs his head and yells at him, "You will not spit on me again. Do you understand me?" Well, I wouldn't really care to be spit at either, but if he didn't hit him, then he probably should not have reacted that way. I mean, every day you can come to the Free Thought Project and see just numerous horrific crimes that these fucking cops get away with simply because they're agents of the state. And people like Epstein and these dirty law enforcement people, they really need to be hung. I mean, look, this guy resigns, gets a job down the road, right, and he ends up killing somebody, shooting him in the back or some other shit like that. That should not be allowed to happen. Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you all. Hope everyone has a great morning. Till next time, kill the state before the state kills you.